will be 18 months plus by the time you next get to use your knowledge of the laws of the game. Even if you did umpire last year, it'll be over 6 months. So I don't think it hurts any of us to do some general revision of the laws. There's still people coming in.
Peter, I just wanted to say, Peter Thew wants me to let you know, or let everybody know, that the meeting is being recorded. So if you don't want your pretty face or name on the recording, change it now.
That's far too technical for me to know. As many of you will be aware, in addition to doing the umpiring, I'm also secretary of the OCC. And one of the things we've been looking at over the last number of months is the playing regulations and the way they are structured. As they currently stand, they run to 30 splash pages, but of that 30 splash pages, some 2/3 or more is a reiteration of the rules of cricket. So with the assistance of Simon Dyke, I've been working this autumn and early spring in trying to reduce the playing regulations back to just that, just making them regulations. So all they will in future list is the way that they differ from the laws. The laws of cricket will continue to be in the little blue book, and the regulations will be variations on those laws. So we will be organising a session on playing regulations next month, but for tonight, this is all about laws of the game. Every question I'm going to ask you will be based on a scenario that you're quite likely to meet in the course of your umpiring. There are absolutely no trick questions in this. What you see on screen is what you get. There's nobody hiding around the corner trying to catch you out. There are 40 questions in all, and what Peter and I propose doing is doing them in batches of 10. So I'll ask you the first 10 questions. We can then go through the answers. You can dispute or argue about them or query them if you wish. What I suggest you do is do it through the chat, little button at the bottom of your screen. And somebody just sent me a... Oh, thank you, Matt. We'll do it rather than everybody trying to talk simultaneously. If you have queries on the answers or you don't understand something, put it into the chat facility. Peter will go through them at the end of the first 10 questions. We'll clear out those questions, then we'll do the next 10, and so on. I suggest it'll probably be easiest if everybody's mic is turned off for the duration of my asking the questions, and then you can turn them back on again and tell me exactly what you think of the questions. So unless anybody has any queries, I suggest we start with question number 1, Peter, please. Am I doing this or are you?
I'll do it. Okay.
Question 1. What is the latest time by which the players must be nominated to the umpires as per the laws of cricket? A, as soon as the captain arrives at the ground, B, before the toss, or C, as the players take the field for the start of the match. So all you need to do is write on your piece of paper A, B, or C. The latest time by which the players must be nominated to the umpires. As soon as the captain arrives, before the toss, or as the players take the field for the start of the match. Okay, Peter, we go on to number 2. A match is due to start at 1 o'clock. What is the earliest time that the toss can take place? Is it 12:15, B 12:30, or C 12:45? What is the earliest time at which the toss can take place for a game starting at 1 o'clock? A 12:15, B 12:30, C 12:45. Okay, Peter, on to number 3. At the time of the toss, one of the captains has not arrived. Who must act as a deputy for the captain for the purposes of taking the toss? A, anyone. B, the 12th man. C, the team coach. Or D, one of the nominated players. So captain hasn't arrived, it's time for the toss. Who can act as a deputy for the captain? Anyone, the 12th man, the team coach, or one of the nominated players? So far, so good. We'll go on to number 4, please. The bowler runs past you, but does not deliver the ball as shown, still in his hand. What should you do? A, call and signal dead ball. B, call and signal no ball. Or C, take no action as the ball is automatically dead. So what do you do if the bowler fails to release the ball? A, call and signal dead ball. B, call and signal no ball. Or C, take no action as the ball is automatically dead. Right, Pete, number 5, please. A match starts at 12 midday. A player arrives late and takes the field at 12:45 after 15 overs have been bowled. What is the earliest time that he can bowl? Is it A, immediately, B, after a further 15 overs have been bowled, C, at 1:15, or D, at 1:30? So 12 o'clock start, he arrives at 12:45 after 15 overs are bowled. What's the earliest time he can bowl? Immediately, after a further 15 overs have been bowled, 1:15, or 1:30? Okay, Pete, we do number 6. You are at the striker's end, and this is your view as the bowler delivers the ball. What should you do? A, call and signal dead ball immediately. B, call and signal no ball immediately. C, call and signal no ball when the ball passes the wicket. Or D, nothing. So that's your view as striker's end. You're standing at square leg by the looks of it. What should you do? Call and signal dead ball, call and signal no ball, call and signal no ball when the ball passes the wicket, or nothing. Number 7, please, Peter. The ball reaches the striker having bounced as shown. What, if anything, do you need to do? A, nothing. B, call and signal dead ball. C, call and signal no ball. D, call and signal no ball, followed by a call and signal of dead ball. The ball has obviously bounced twice. What do? Do you do nothing? Call and signal dead ball, call and signal no ball, or call and signal no ball, followed by call and signal dead ball. And we'll go on to number 8. You have called over, and you're wandering over towards square leg. The fielder near you asks whether the last delivery which had hit the striker's pads was out. How should you deal with this situation? A, advise him that as the ball is dead, the appeal is invalid. B, consider the appeal and give your decision. C, as you have called over, it's too late for him to appeal. So, you're wandering out towards square leg at the end of the over, and one of the fielders wants to know whether the last ball which hit the batsman's pads was out. He appeals. Do you advise him that as the ball is dead, the appeal is invalid? Do you consider the appeal and give your decision? Or C, as you've called over, it's too late for him to appeal? Number 9. You are at the striker's end. Your colleague calls wide ball. The wicketkeeper takes the ball fairly and immediately puts the wicket down with the striker in the position shown. How should you respond to the appeal? A, not out. B, out stumped. Or C, out run out. And number 10, the wicketkeeper shows unacceptable dissent at your decision following an LBW appeal. What should happen next? A, you ignore this, it's all part of the game. B, you issue a first and final warning to the wicketkeeper for dissent. C, both umpires inform the wicketkeeper that his dissent will be reported. Or D, both umpires inform his captain of the event and tell him it will be reported. So you've decided that the appeal his dissent at your refusal for the appeal is unacceptable. What should happen next? Do you ignore it and just get on with the game? Do you issue a first and final warning to the wicketkeeper? Do you inform the wicketkeeper that his dissent will be reported? Or do both umpires inform his captain of the event and tell him it will be reported? Right, so that's your first 10. I'm delighted to see that Oleg and his son are still smiling. So Pete, can we go back to the beginning and we'll run through the answers quickly? Right, latest time by which the umpires must be nominated to the umpires is before the toss. When you go out to do the toss, you must have 2 team sheets with you, or under COVID regulations, you must have seen 2 team sheets. You don't necessarily handle them. Okay. Number 2, if the match is due to start at 1 o'clock, the earliest time the toss can take place is 12:30. And you'd be well advised to get it taken as close to 12:30 as you can. Oh, the captain's on his way is not a good reason to delay it. Which takes us to number 3. If the captain hasn't arrived, one of the nominated players should stand in to act for the captain. You don't want some Joe walking off from in the boundary to come in and take the toss. Oh, sorry, we've got Adam Caddy to come in. Okay, number 4. Right, it doesn't deliver the ball. You should call and signal dead ball. C is technically correct, but you've got to keep the scorers in the picture. and it's perfectly possible that the scorers haven't seen what's happened, are desperately trying to work out where the ball is, and without your call of dead ball, they're not going to know what's going on. They may easily assume that they just can't see the ball and it's somewhere out there. So call and signal dead ball, he failed to deliver. Number 5. Match starts at 12 o'clock and Charlie turns up 45 minutes late, which means he has to serve a penance time of the same time that he has missed. So if he's 45 minutes late, he can't bowl for a further 45 minutes. Bear in mind that the laws of the game are written essentially around time cricket. So that the fact that you bowled 15 overs is an irrelevance as far as the laws are concerned. It's all based on time. Number 6, Pete, please. You're at striker's end, and that's your view.
Sorry, Peter, did you give the answer for the last one? I don't know. Maybe I missed it.
Sorry, can you go back? Earliest time he can bowl is 1:30. So he's 45 minutes late, so he has to serve 45 minutes penance time before he's allowed to bowl. Is that okay?
Thanks. Thank you very much.
No problem. Sorry, Pete, number 6. That's what you can see. The wicketkeeper's gloves and cap are in front of the stumps. So you should call and signal no ball immediately. It's a no ball from the point at which it's delivered. Number 7. Ball bounces twice before it reaches the striker. This is a change of law about 5 years ago. You now call and signal no ball, and you then follow it with a dead ball signal. What we don't want is him running down the wicket and trying to smack the ball because it's come to a halt in the middle of the pitch and causing all sorts of pandemonium. So D, you call and signal no ball, followed by a call and signal no ball, followed by a call and signal of dead ball.
So the batsman cannot hit it.
Sorry?
The batsman cannot hit the ball.
No.
Peter, it's Kevin here. The
That's only if it comes to rest, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if the ball
I do apologise, you're absolutely right.
perfectly allowed hit.
BBC call and signal no ball. That ball is carrying on, yes. It hadn't come to rest. It's up against... My apologies. I hadn't looked at the photo. I'd only looked at the 2 bouncing. Yep. If it had come to rest, then you would call and signal no ball followed by dead ball. But because it's still in play, you call and signal no ball. Because it bounced twice. My apologies. Now, this one. When does the appeal become invalid? You've called over, you're walking out to square leg, and the fielder walks up and says, well, how was that last delivery? And the answer is, until the next delivery becomes live, the batsman can still be given out. So the correct answer is B. You consider the appeal and give your decision. Because until the next delivery is made, the batsman is still at risk. Number 9. Your colleague calls wide ball. The batsman's foot is on the crease. And assuming he's not Virat Kohli and it's in Chennai, then he's out, stumped.
Sorry, Peter. It says you are at the striker's end, so we don't.
You're at the striker's end, so you're standing square left.
I wouldn't be giving it out, right? It is this square leg umpire will be giving it out.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
That is a square leg umpire.
Yeah.
Striker's end.
Sorry.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Sorry.
Yeah, okay, no problem. And number 10. So you've decided that the wicketkeeper has shown dissent. What should you do next? Well, if you don't do anything about it, the next time he has an appeal, it'll be even worse. So you've got to do something about it. And if you're going to do anything about it, you've got to involve the captain. Your line of communication has to be with the captain. The behaviour of one of his players is unacceptable. So your answer is D. Both umpires working together inform his captain of the event and tell him it will be reported.
Does this question doesn't really take full account of Law 42 as it stands now, though, does it?
No, it doesn't. The answer is much more complicated than that.
In what way, Owen?
Well, because there's more steps to it in terms of informing the captain that any further level 1 offence will be 5 penalty runs.
Oh, sorry.
All the rigmarole around that.
There's all the rigmarole around that, yes. But I think the purpose of this particular question is that you deal with the captain, not with the player.
Yeah, grand.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There is more to it in that sense. Okay, Peter, how are we doing on queries? Have we any?
Nope.
I have a question on question 3, actually, or our discussion point more than anything else, really.
Yeah, Kevin.
So the law, so the question is about the toss and to do with the nomination of players. Now, the law separates the two incidents where the players are nominated and the toss takes place. But the reality of the fieldcraft for the matches that we do in Leinster and in fact at international level as well is that the players are nominated at the same time as the toss. So there's an important distinction that if the captain isn't available to nominate the players, then any person can do that. Okay, it doesn't have to be the captain. Most often that can be the scorer, as we would see in local cricket here. But once you receive that nomination sheet, only somebody on those 11 games can act to operate the toss. Now, that means from a fieldcraft point of view, in essence, what you need to do is when you take the team sheet from whomever gives it to you, even I would suggest even if it's the captain, that you need to check with the captain that that team sheet is correct and make sure that the captain is, or the person operating the toss is one of the people on that team sheet. The law, as I said, the law separates the instance of nomination and the toss, but in essence, in practice, on the field that we play in, we need to be more careful because the two things happen simultaneously.
Yeah. Fair point. But what you don't want to be doing is hanging around waiting for a captain who is late arriving and delaying the toss.
That's what the playing conditions deal with, Peter.
Sorry, say again?
Playing conditions deal with that.
Okay.
Peter, I have a query on question 6. Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
So at what point, so if you're at the striker's end and you see that lining up, the bowler hasn't delivered the ball yet. So you're not going to call dead ball until after the bowler has bowled the delivery, correct?
I'm not going to call dead ball at all, Jonathan. I'm going to call...
All right, no ball, no ball.
Yeah. But it's a no ball at the point of his delivery.
Yeah, but that's not immediately. So if I'm standing here now, oh, I see. The question is as the bowler delivers the ball. Okay, I see. All right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, no problem. Okay, happy to go on to the next 10?
Peter, I have one question, please.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, if ball bounced twice and if batsman will play short, so if they score, it will be not counted score?
Yes, you do, because, sorry, I was confused by not looking at the image. The ball has bounced twice, but it reaches the batsman. So it's a no ball, and he can score runs in the usual way that he would from a no ball.
All right. Okay, thank you very much.
If the ball fails to reach him, that you then call dead ball to stop anything further happening.
Okay, thank you.
That's okay. Right, question 11.
Sorry, Peter. The last question, number 10.
Yeah. Yep.
still we can in this case if it is a excessive appeal, still we can chance of issuing the level 1 in case of any arguments.
Sorry, say again.
Still in this case there is an option for issuing any level 1 warning.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That is the decision that you and your colleague have already made. It is unacceptable dissent.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Peter.
Yeah. It's the question is, what do you then do?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Having agreed that it's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other queries on the first 10? Right, we're going to.
No, all good.
Thank you. You've decided that the delivery you've just seen is a wide. What is the earliest point at which you would call and signal wide ball? As soon as the ball is released by the bowler, as soon as the ball passes the striker, as soon as the ball passes the striker's wicket, or as soon as the ball reaches the wicket-keeper. So you've decided it's a wide. What's the earliest point at which you call it? When it's released, when it passes the striker, when it passes the striker's wicket, or as soon as it reaches the wicket-keeper? Question 12. You are at striker's end, and as the bowler is running in, the fielder indicated makes a significant movement, as is shown. So he's walking from right to left. What action, if any, should you take? A, no action is necessary. B, call and signal dead ball immediately. C, call and signal no ball immediately. D, call and signal no ball when the ball passes the striker's wicket. So the fielder is moving from right to left, as you see the image. What do you do? Nothing? Call and signal dead ball immediately, call and signal no ball immediately, or call and signal no ball when the ball passes the striker's wicket. Number 13. A catch is fairly taken after the batsmen have crossed on their second run. So obviously it went a long way up in the air. How many runs are credited to the batting side? A, 2, B, 1, C, none. So, catch fairly taken, but the batsmen have crossed on their second run. How many runs are credited to the batting side? 2, 1, or none? Question 14. You are at striker's end and the 4 fielders are in the position shown as the ball is delivered. What action, if any, should you take? A, there's no action necessary. B, when the ball is dead, award 5 penalty runs to the batting side. C, call and signal dead ball immediately. Or D, call and signal no ball immediately. So that's what you can see from squarely. You're obviously standing on the offside on this occasion. You've got the 4 fielders in their various positions, including the wicketkeeper. What do you need to do? Nothing. When it's dead, award 5 penalty runs to the batting side. Call and signal dead ball. Call and signal no ball. Number 15. These adult fielders are in the position shown as the bowler delivers the ball. What should you do? A, call and signal no ball. B, call and signal dead ball. C, nothing. adult fielders in the positions indicated should you call no ball, dead ball, or nothing. Number 16. Both pictures show a situation where the batsman does not hit the ball. In number 1, the batsman moves towards the ball. In number 2, the batsman moves away from the ball. For which deliveries should you call and signal wide? Only number 1, only number 2, both of them, or neither of them? Okay. Number 17. This batsman is running a single. This is the first time that this type of incident has occurred in the innings. What, if anything, does the law require you to do? And we're talking here about the law, not the normal match management. What does the law require you to do? A, no actions required. B, you award 5 penalty runs to the fielding side. C, you issue a first and final warning to the batting side. Or D, you disallow the runs. So this is the first time this has happened. What does the law require you to do? Nothing. Award 5 penalty runs to the fielding side. Issue a first and final warning to the batting side. Or disallow the runs. Number 18. The batsman has hit the ball which then lodges in his pad. He picks the ball out of his pad and throws it to a fielder who catches it. The fielder then appeals. What is your decision? A, out caught. B, out obstructing the field. C, out handled the ball. Or D, not out. Well, B and C are now all one. What's your decision? Out caught, out obstruction, out handled the ball, or D, not out? Number 19. These two pictures show the bowler's feet in his delivery stride, bowling left arm over. Which, if any, are no balls? A, just number 1. B, just number 2. C, both of them. D, neither of them. So left arm over bowler. Which of these are, if any, are no balls? Number 1, number 2, both of them, or neither of them? And number 20. The batsmen have crossed on their 3rd run. The fielder throws the ball to the wicketkeeper, who misses it, and the ball reaches the boundary. The picture shows the position of the batsman as the ball is thrown. How many runs are scored? A, 7, B, 6, C, 5, D, 4, E, 3. So they crossed on their 3rd run, and this is the image as the fielder throws the ball to the wicketkeeper, who misses it, and it subsequently crosses the boundary. How many runs are scored? 7, 6, 5, 4, or 3? Okay, would anybody like to see any questions 11 to 20 again?
Can I have a look at question 17 again, please, Peter?
Yeah, well, yeah, I say yes. That's the one. Yep. Perfect view of the batsman's back.
Yeah, okay, cheers, thank you.
Could you go back to question 1, please? Or question 11, please?
Right, we'll go back to number 11. You've decided it's a wide, but what's the earliest point at which you should call? It's a relatively easy one to remember, because it's obviously not a wide until it passes the striker and his wicket. Striker could have come charging down the track. So it's C as soon as the ball passes the striker's wicket. It becomes a wide. What's this one? Oh yes, this fella's gone wandering. The law makes provision for fielders to move towards the batsman. This fella appears to be going in an entirely different direction, moving from in front of the popping crease to behind the popping crease. So you should call and signal dead ball immediately. I suspect you've all got this one right. The catch is fairly taken. It doesn't matter how many runs they run before the catch is taken. No runs are scored. Now, there's 4 fielders you can see, including the wicketkeeper. But the 3 other fielders are all behind the popping crease, in part or in whole. One fella's straddling the popping crease, but he's got one foot firmly behind it, and the fella under the tree is clearly behind the line of the popping crease. You've got more than 3 men behind on the leg side, so you call and signal no ball. Now, key thing is these are not youth players, so the question of how close to the bat they're fielding doesn't arise, but the fella nearest to the camera has his hand over the cut strip, which is not allowed, and you should call and signal no ball. He's not allowed to have any part of his body over the cut area when he fields. Right. This is the same delivery, with the batsman moving towards the ball in number 1 and moving away from the ball in number 2. He's clearly brought the ball within his reach in number 1, and he's moved away from the ball in number 2 to prevent himself reaching it. So I would argue that neither of those is a wide. He went out fishing for the first one, and he's deliberately reversing away from the second one. So the correct answer is D, neither. Now, our normal practice, of course, would be to have our word with the batsman and tell him not to do it again. But what the law demands is that we issue a first and final warning to the batting side for damaging the pitch unnecessarily. Number 18, common enough occurrence, the ball lodges in the pad of the batsman, at which point it becomes dead. So there can't be any question of him being out, caught. So the answer is D, not out. Our left arm bowler, number 1, back foot breaking the return crease. He's not even allowed to touch it, let alone straddle it. And number 2, no element of his front foot behind the line. So they're both no balls. Your answer should be C. And hoary old chestnut. They've crossed on their 3rd run. The fielder hurls the ball towards the wicketkeeper, who misses it. It subsequently crosses the boundary, so the batsmen are deemed to have completed 3, plus the 4 for the boundary makes 7 in all. So your answer is A, 7. Right. Any queries, disputes, or rows about any of that?
A quick one on question 12. Did you say, is that a dead ball, right?
So let's go back to 12 and have a look. Yes, dead ball.
Thank you.
The fielder's he is not moving towards the batsman. He is effectively changing his fielding position. The batsman's entitled to know where the field is and where he's likely to expect it to be when he hits the ball. That fella started in front of the batsman and is now moving behind it. So he's changing his position in the hopes that he won't be seen.
Yeah, just a follow-up. So even if the bowler has delivered the ball, it will still be a dead ball, not no ball.
If the bowler had delivered the ball, but he could be going to field it if the ball's delivered. But the ball
makes sense. Thank you.
As the fielder makes this move, so the ball hasn't been delivered.
Thank you so much. That makes sense.
Okay,
Thanks.
that's fine.
Hi, Peter. On the same one, if there was a 2 fielders behind the popping crease, and this will be third player going behind the popping crease, so should we call no ball?
Good question. You mean he's walking to the third? I'd be tempted to call no ball, but I think I'd be correct to call dead ball.
Well, what happens first?
His movement started first.
Yeah, so you call it dead ball.
Started in front of the popping crease.
You shouldn't let it get to a stage where you need to call no ball because it's dead ball happened first.
Yes, it's dead ball first. Tempting at all as I might be, it's dead ball.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Any other queries?
Peter, on number 15.
Yeah.
Is there any, I suppose, responsibility of safety? I know, the fielders are too close. There are no rules governing that they have to wear helmet.
Well, no, they may not have any part over the strip. Whether they wear a helmet or not is not an issue. They may not have any part of their body over the cut area of the pitch.
Okay.
So his hands are clearly over the cut area.
Sure. Yeah.
Now, you might argue that he's a lunatic to be fielding there without some sort of protective equipment. That's another issue.
In practice, in terms of fieldcraft, you're probably asking the question.
He is.
Yeah.
Okay. Would anyone like a 2-minute break or comfort break or anything? I'm starting to get a little hoarse. I'm going to go and get myself a glass of water. So if anybody wants to take a sort of 2-minute stretch, is that okay? Welcome, Paul Reynolds. I don't know if you brought Mickey.
Good evening. They may be here shortly.
Oh, grand. So you've missed the first half, Paul, but you're very welcome to join in on the second. Now, I presume everybody is back. So we'll go on. We've had 3 or 4 minutes. We'll go on to question 21. In his follow-through, the bowler runs into the protected area as shown. This is the first ball of his first over. What, if anything, does the law require you to do? Nothing. He's allowed to do this once. B, give him a caution. C, give him a first and final warning. So this is the first ball of his first over. What does the law require you to do? Nothing, because he's allowed to get away with it once. B, give him a caution. Or C, give him a first and final warning. Number 22. As the bowler delivers the ball, his leg breaks the wicket. What action should you take? A, no action required. B, call and signal dead ball. Or C, call and signal, B, call and signal dead ball. C, call and signal no ball. So what action should you take if the bowler breaks the wicket as he delivers? A, nothing required. B, call and signal dead ball. C, call and signal no ball. Number 23. One umpire decides that rain has made it dangerous for play to continue. However, his colleague and both captains wish to continue. What should happen now? A, play continues because both captains wish to play. B, play will continue for now, but tell the captains that either of them can appeal should the weather get worse. Or C, the umpires suspend play. So one umpire has decided that rain's made it dangerous. His partner disagrees. Both captains want to continue. What do you do? You continue because both captains want to play. You continue for now, but you tell the captains that either of them can appeal. Or C, umpires suspend play. Number 24. It's the 4th ball of the over. The batsmen have completed 2 runs when the fielder's throw causes the ball to hit the helmet. What is the outcome of this event? A, only 5 penalty runs to the batting side and 2 balls left in the over. B, 5 penalty runs to the batting side and 3 balls left in the over. C, 7 runs scored and 2 balls left in the over. D, 7 runs scored and 3 balls left in the over. So the batsmen have completed 2 runs when the fielder's throw causes the ball to hit the helmet. What is the outcome of this event? 5 penalty runs to the batting side and 2 left in the over. 5 penalty runs to the batting side and 3 balls left in the over. C, 7 runs scored and 2 balls left in the over. D, 7 runs scored and 3 balls left in the over. Number 25. The striker makes no attempt to hit the ball with his bat. The ball is deflected into the outfield and the batsmen run. Excuse me. You are going to disallow these leg byes. When should you call and signal dead ball? A, immediately. B, when the batsmen have completed one run or the ball reaches the boundary. Or C, when the batsmen have completed all their runs. So you've decided that he hasn't offered any stroke and you're going to disallow the runs or disallow the leg byes. When should you call and signal dead ball? Immediately, when the batsmen have completed one run or the ball reaches the boundary, or when the batsmen have completed all their runs. Number 26. The ball hits the bat, then hits the fielder's helmet and is caught. How should you deal with the appeal? Give the striker out caught. Give the striker not out and award 5 penalty runs to the batting side for illegal fielding. Or C, say not out. So, batsman plays the ball, it hits the fielder's helmet and is caught as shown. How do you deal with the appeal? Give the striker out caught, give the striker not out and award 5 penalty runs to the batting side for illegal fielding, or C, say not out. Question 27. The ball is hit in the air and hits an overhanging branch of a tree and falls inside the boundary and stops. What should happen next? A, the umpire signals 6. B, the umpire does nothing because the ball is still in play. C, the umpire signals 4. Or D, the umpire calls and signals dead ball. So the ball's hit in the air and hits an overhanging branch of a tree and falls inside the boundary and stops. What should happen next? A, the umpire signals 6. B, the umpire does nothing. The ball is still in play. C, the umpire signals 4. Or D, the umpire calls and signals dead ball. Number 28. The non-striker is backing up and is out of his crease. Before reaching his delivery stride, the bowler throws the ball at his wicket. The ball misses the stumps. What is the outcome of this event? A, the umpire calls and signals no ball. B, the umpire calls and signals dead ball, and the ball counts as 1 in the over. C, the umpire does nothing. Play continues and the batsman can score runs. D, the umpire calls and signals dead ball, but the ball does not count as 1 in the over. So non-striker's backing up and he's out of his crease. The bowler is still running in, but before his delivery stride, he throws the ball at his wicket, the wicket at his end, and misses the stumps. What then happens? The umpire calls and signals no ball. Umpire calls and signals dead ball. The ball counts as 1 in the over. C, the umpire does nothing and play continues. D, the umpire calls and signals dead ball, and the ball does not count as 1 in the over. Number 29. You call and signal no ball. The ball hits the striker's leg and goes to fine leg. The batsmen run 2 runs. What signals should you give to the scorers? Number 1, followed by number 2. Number 1, followed by number 3. Number 2, followed by number 1. Or number 3, followed by number 1. So you call and signal no ball, ball hits the striker's leg and goes to final leg, and batsman run 2. What signals do you give? 1 followed by 2, 1 followed by 3, 2 followed by 1, or 3 followed by 1? And number 30, a little animation. What? Yeah. Do what you're told. Watch the animation. Who is out? A, no one. B, the non-striker. Or C, the strike. What's happened with the animation, Pete? Have we lost it? Oh, here we go. Watch the animation.
That went in a flash.
Say again?
That went in a flash. I didn't actually see the animation.
Oh. Are we going to have to abandon question 30?
No, we won't. Just watch what this fella here does. Watch what this fella does.
Okay. Okay, thanks. Yeah.
I'm not seeing it on mine. Could you talk us through what happens?
1 second. So watch this fella here. This fella at the non-striker's end, the bowler's end. He runs to this end, and this fella hasn't moved.
Yeah.
And the ball is here now.
Yeah. Who, if anyone, is out? No one, the non-striker, or the striker. So the non-striker started, as you might imagine, at bowler's end. He runs. The striker stays still. The wicket is broken at the bowler's end. Who, if anyone, is out? No.
Has any fielder touched the ball on the way to the non-striker's end wicket?
Yes, he has. So no one is out, the non-striker is out, or the striker is out. So do I take it, Peter, that Zoom doesn't like the particular software that runs that animation?
No, Flash. It used to be in Flash, and Flash didn't work. Doesn't work anymore.
Oh, okay. Works on my old-fashioned machine, but never mind. Right, are there any questions then between 21 and 30 that anyone would like to see again?
Yeah, Peter, could you just quickly run through 21 and 22? I missed those. I wasn't back fast enough.
Oh, sorry, Jonathan. Another glass of wine, maybe.
Certainly not wine on a Wednesday, Peter.
In his follow-through, the bowler runs into the protected area as shown. This is the first ball of his first over. What does the law require you to do, if anything? A, nothing. He's allowed to do this once. B, give him a caution. Or C, give him a first and final warning.
Many thanks. And the next
Number
one?
22. As the bowler delivers the ball, his leg breaks the wicket. What action should you take? A, no action required. B, call and signal dead ball. Or C, call and signal no ball.
Thanks, Peter.
That's fine, no problem. So do you want to go? Anybody else want to see any others again? Right, back to 21 then, Pete, please. Right, in his follow through, and again, as we said earlier with the batsman running down the middle, in management terms, you'd probably be having a sharp word with him, telling him not to do it again, but the law requires you to give him a caution. B, 21, B. Okay, number 22. You've just seen the bowler knocking the bail off in his delivery stride is a no ball.
Peter, with the previous one, how come the batsman gets the first and final warning first time he does it, but then the bowler doesn't?
Sorry, say again. You're very faint.
How come the batsman gets first and final warning the first time he does it, but the bowler doesn't?
Because that's the law. That's what the law says. The bowler is allowed a first warning, a final warning, and then he's off. The batting team is allowed one warning. And once that fella is warned, that warning applies to the entire team. Those are the laws.
Thank you.
I take it that was a batsman asking me the question rather than a bowler. Right, do you want to go on to 23, Pete? Yep. One umpires decide that rain has made it dangerous. That is enough. As long as one of the umpires decides that it is unfit for play, then the umpires suspend play. We take the cautious approach. And the fact that the players wish to continue is neither here nor there. The answer is C, the umpires suspend play. 24. Yes, they've run 2 by the time the ball strikes the helmet. So they keep their 2, but they've had the opportunity of playing the ball. So they get their 2 plus the 5, and there are 2 balls left in the over. Because they've had the opportunity of playing at the ball, you do not need to replay that delivery. So the correct answer is C, 7 runs scored and 2 balls left in the over. Thanks, Matt. 25. Striker makes no attempt to hit this ball with his bat, so you've decided you're going to disallow the leg byes. So when do you do it? Well, you give the fielding chance one opportunity of running him out, and then you call dead ball. So the correct answer is B. Once they've completed 1 run or the ball reaches the boundary, you call dead ball. (26) Yeah, this is again was a change of law in recent years. The ball hits the bat, then hits the fielder's helmet and is caught. You now give the striker out caught. And if you want to start a serious row, start awarding penalty runs for illegal fielding. That seems to me to be the makings of a major row. Don't do B, do A, give the striker out caught. You can now be caught off the helmet. 27. Yeah, the hoary old chestnut, the ball comes flying in, hits the branch and drops dead. What should happen next? You should call and signal 6 runs. Because the tree is rooted over the boundary, it's deemed to be outside the boundary, so the fact that it's hit it means a boundary 6 has been scored because it was hit on the full. A, umpire signals 6. 28. Yeah. Having said that all of these could occur in any match you umpire, I have never seen this umpire happen in my time. Non-striker's backing up, he's out of his crease. The ball misses the stumps. What happens? D, the umpire calls and signals dead ball. The ball obviously doesn't count as 1 in the over because nobody's had a chance to play it. So you call and signal dead ball D, and it does not count as 1 in the over. 29. Yes, you call and signal no ball. The batsman appears to be playing a stroke. It hits his leg. goes down to fine leg. So we're talking about leg buys. And as all of these things, you do them make the signals in the sequence in which they happened. So the first thing that happened was it was a no ball. The second thing that happened was it was a leg buy. So the correct signal is 1 followed by, oh, hang on, it's off a no ball. So it's buys off a no ball. Sorry, fell into my own trap. It's 1 followed by 3.
Peter, you're right the first time.
Was that not changed in the last revision?
Yeah, it's changed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's changed.
It changed again.
Yeah, it says no ball followed by leg buy.
No ball and leg buys, and they're scored the same way.
My apologies. I've learned something tonight.
There's no such thing as 5 no balls anymore.
Even when you're wrong, you're right, Peter.
I wouldn't know about that.
So it's A, right?
A, 1 followed by 2. My apologies. Number 30. Oh, this is the animation that didn't really work. So they've all landed up at the striker's end. The ball is broken at, so the wicket is broken at the bowler's end. Who's out? Well, the non-striker is out because the striker has never left his ground. So the striker's end ground remains his. Therefore, by extension, the non-striker's end must be at the other ground, must be at the other end. Therefore, the non-striker is out. B. Okay. Any queries? Okay, we'll continue on then to the last 10 before you all fall asleep. Number 31. The bowler has already received a caution for a beamer. Several overs later, he bowls a bouncer that you consider is unfair and dangerous. What action should you take? A. Call and signal no ball. B. Call and signal no ball and caution the bowler. C. Call and signal no ball and issue a final warning. Or D. Call and signal no ball and direct the captain to take this bowler off immediately. So he's already had a warning for a beamer, and now he bowls a bouncer that you consider unfair and dangerous. What do? You call no ball? Do you call no ball and caution the bowler? Do you call no ball and issue a final warning? Or D, call and signal no ball and direct the captain to take the bowler off immediately? Number 32. This is the first delivery of a fast bowler's spell to the opener. What should happen next? A, the umpires do nothing. B, striker's end umpire calls and signals no ball. C, bowler's end umpire calls and signals no ball. D, either umpire calls and signals no ball. Number 33. The batsmen have attempted 3 runs. When the ball is dead, both umpires call and signal short run. What should happen now? A, 1 run is automatically scored. B, 2 runs are automatically scored. C, the umpires consult to decide how many runs are scored. So, both umpires signalling short run after 3 runs are completed. What happens now? A, 1 run scored. B, 2 runs are scored. C, the umpires consult to decide how many runs are scored. 34. Oh, This is the other animation. This may be more tricky. Let's see how we get on. We have an injured striker who's at the top of the screen. Other than that, sorry, the runner is at the top of the screen. The injured striker is on strike, and the non-striker is at bowler's end. Your striker's end umpire, and they're off, is my guess. Once again, Jonathan, you can assume that the ball has been fielded. Who, if anyone, is out? A, no one is out. B, the non-striker is out. C, the injured striker is out. So the wicket at striker's end is broken. The injured striker and his runner are now at bowler's end. Who, if anyone, is out? A, no one. B, the non-striker. Or C, the injured striker. Number 35. The bowler's feet in his delivery stride bowling right arm over. Which, if any, are no balls? A, only number 1. B, only number 2. C, both of them. D, neither of them. So, 2 bowlers bowling right arm over, number 1 and number 2, which, if any, are no balls? Number 1, number 2, both of them, neither of them. Excuse me. Number 36. The striker ducks to avoid being hit by the ball and makes no attempt to hit the ball with his bat. The ball hits him on the shoulder and proceeds to cross the boundary. You are sure that the batsman has not been seriously injured. What should you do? A, call and signal dead ball when the ball hits the striker. B, call and signal dead ball when the ball reaches the boundary. C, signal 4 leg byes when the ball reaches the boundary. So striker ducks to avoid being hit, but makes no attempt to hit the ball with his bat. It hits him on the shoulder, proceeds to cross the boundary. You're sure that he's not seriously injured. What do you do? Call and signal dead ball when the ball hits the striker. Call and signal dead ball when it reaches the boundary. Or call and signal 4 leg byes when the ball reaches the boundary. Number 37. These are the first 4 deliveries of an over. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many valid balls are needed to complete the over? 2, 3, 4, or 5. So these are the first 4 deliveries of an over. How many valid balls are needed to complete the over? 2, 3, 4, or 5. Number 38. The bowler is running in, and before he delivers the ball, the wind blows the bails off, as shown. What, if anything, do the umpires need to do? A, neither umpire needs to do anything. B, striker's end umpire calls and signals dead ball. C, bowler's end umpire calls and signals dead ball. Or D, either umpire can call and signal dead ball. So bowler's running into bowl, but before he delivers, the wind blows the bail off. What do the umpires need to do? Nothing. striker's end umpire calls dead ball, bowler's end umpire calls dead ball, or either umpire calls and signals dead ball. Number 39. These are two separate deliveries to a right-handed batsman. In both cases, the ball would have gone on to hit the wicket. In number 1, the ball pitches and is intercepted as shown. Number 2, the delivery is a full toss and is intercepted as shown. For which delivery, if any, should you give the batsman out LBW? Just number 1, just number 2, both of them, or neither of them? So these are separate deliveries to a right-handed batsman. In both cases, the ball would have gone on to hit the wicket. In number 1, the ball pitches and is intercepted as shown. The second delivery is a full toss and is intercepted as shown. For which delivery, if any, should you give the batsman out LB? 1, 2, both, or neither? And finally, number 40. The scores are level at 149 with the batting side 9 wickets down. The bowler delivers a wide ball from which the wicketkeeper stumps the striker. What is the outcome of this event? The batting side scores 150 for 9 because the stumping doesn't count. The batting side scores 149 all out because the wide doesn't count. The batting side scores 150 all out, the wide counts and the stumping counts. 149 for 9, and the bowler delivers a wide from which the wicketkeeper stumps the striker. What's the outcome? 150 for 9 because the stumping doesn't count, 149 all out because the wide doesn't count, or 150 all out, the wide counts and the stumping counts. Okay, anybody like to see any of the last 10 questions again? Okay, Pete, I think we can go back to 31. Right. Bowler has already received a caution for a beamer. Several overs later, he bowls a bouncer that you consider is unfair and dangerous. What action should you take? Key thing here is the counting of illegal deliveries under the beamer law are counted separately from those under bouncers that might be unfair and dangerous. So your reply should be, you should call and signal no ball and issue a final warning. So it's as if he hasn't bowled the beamer. You don't take them together. Number 32. This is the first delivery of a fast bowler spell to the opener. Yeah. It's a bit lively, but there's absolutely no reason, to my eye, why you should do anything about that. It's a decent delivery to a batsman who's supposed to know what he's doing because he's an opener. It's a bit short, but yeah, that's the fast bowler's trade. So the correct answer is you do nothing. A. Again, remember, this is laws of cricket, not local regulation. Sorry?
Sorry, my mistake. Nothing for you to do.
Okay. Number 33, Pete. So, both umpires have signalled short run, but until they get together, you don't know whether it's the same run that was short for both of them, or whether they were too short, whether the first and second runs were both short. So the correct answer has to be C. You've got to consult. Have they run 1 run short or 2 runs short? C. This is our animation. The key thing to remember here is the injured party has subcontracted his running. So therefore he is not able to run. So therefore, if he does leave his ground and the wicket is broken at the striker's end, he is out regardless of where anybody else is. So the correct answer is C. The injured striker is out. The wicket has been broken at his end and he's left his ground.
Peter, who would give that decision out? The fella at square leg or the guy at the bowler's end?
Well, this one is so extreme, either of them could give it, but it will be the responsibility of the fellow at striker's end.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. But the important thing to remember about the injured striker or having a runner is if the injured striker leaves his ground for any reason at striker's end and the wicket's broken, he's out. That's the first thing you have to consider.
Yeah, the umpire at the end where the wicket is broken makes the decision.
Yeah.
Kev, you're saying square leg would give it out? Would that not cause confusion? People would think that the guy who's running to the wicketkeeper's end is out. No?
I think
the reality of the situation here is that the way it works out on the field is that the umpire signals out, and then the batsman will say which of us is out, and you inform them as gently as you want to do.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question, Kevin?
Well, yeah, it just causes a bit more confusion.
Yeah, you're right. It looks odd, but ultimately it's the decision of the guy at the end where the wicket is broken, and then there's a bit of man management or match management after that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, if the other thing is, it's possible that the wicket was broken illegally. So, and only the umpire at striker's end could determine that. You know, in the image that we've got, the wicketkeeper is well back from the stumps and obviously hasn't nudged it with his pad, but he could have done.
Yeah, but if the umpire at the end where the wicket is broken isn't sure that the wicket has been broken, he or she will either say not out or will consult with their colleague. But ultimately, the umpire at the end where the wicket is broken is the one who delivers the decision.
Absolutely, yeah.
Peter, what in the same scenario, if the ball wickets broken at the non-striker's end?
If the ball was broken at the non-striker's end, well, they're in their ground. The the runner's in his ground, so he can't be run out.
So
nobody's out.
So nobody's out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But somebody needs to have the intelligence to throw the ball to the other end.
Okay.
They don't always have it though when they panic.
What's his name? Trini said, should both umpires not consult before making the decision?
Only if there's grounds for them to consult. Like if there's a doubt in either of their minds, they of course should consult. But if there isn't, then the umpire should make the decision.
I mean, as that image stands, he's out by about 18 or 19 yards. He shouldn't have left his ground. So it's hard to see how there would be any doubt. Okay.
Just Peter, another scenario on this same thing. If the throws went into the bowler's end,
yep.
But both batsman, injured batsman and the runner both make the ground. So neither of them out. But if they throw back into the bowler's end, the batting end, the injured batsman should be out if he's not make back the ground.
Absolutely, yes, yep. Yeah, he would be out in the same way as this scenario.
Yeah.
Okay. Right arm over this time, our bowler. First one looks suspiciously spinner-like. His front foot is outside the return crease, but his front foot doesn't worry us. His back foot is the one that worries us with regard to the return crease. So delivery number 1 is legal. Delivery number 2, this was the law change about 7 or 8 years ago. If you're bowling right arm over, you must deliver the ball from the side of the wicket, which represents right arm over. He swung right the way across and put his front foot onto the other side of the pitch and is therefore a no ball. So the correct answer is B, only number 2. You can see that imaginary line indicated on the second image, the yellow line down the middle of the pitch. He may not put his front foot with the far side of that, across that line in delivering the ball.
Yeah, it's really important to note that in this case, landing on the line is fine. The foot has to be completely across.
Oh, yes, he's got to cross it quite clearly. Yeah. I think it's fair to say, Kevin, this was only a problem in the season in which it was first introduced. Where certain bowlers, spin bowlers in particular, had a habit of making that delivery and just adjusted. I haven't seen any instance of it since then.
I think Ray O'Rourke is on the call. He'll probably correct me if I'm wrong. I think there was a case at an ITC underage tournament where it emerged for one player, and then the season after that there was a good bit of education. I remember, I don't want to age myself too much, but I remember having a conversation with Jim Govan in Malahide about it, who was surprised, which brings us to the general point that the education role of the umpire in terms of the players. So I certainly don't think it happens too often these days. So.
Came across that in Malaysia 2006, where a leg spinner came on and got very tight to the stumps, and the umpire called a no ball, and we were all amazed, but he was right. So it must have just come in that year.
Yeah, it was about that length of time ago.
Whatever iteration of the law changes, was it 2001? It would have been around that stage, I think. I'm open to correction on what year it was, though.
Side foot in there. Trini just wanted to ask, if part of the foot is over the imaginary line, is it still a no ball?
No, it has to be the entire foot. So it's not like the front line, the popping crease where it can be halfway across, as long as something is grounded behind. It has to be completely across this imaginary line from middle stump to middle stump.
Okay, everybody happy with that? Right, this fella's taken a whack from a ball. He has played no stroke at it, but it's hit him on the shoulder and crossed the boundary. You're happy that he is not seriously injured. So leg byes can be scored if the batsman is taking evasive action to avoid injury. So the correct answer is C, signal 4 leg byes when the ball reaches the boundary. It doesn't matter that he hasn't played a stroke at it. He was ducking to avoid injury, unsuccessfully as it happened, but that's not your concern. 37?
Sorry, Peter. Question down there. I mean, he is not playing a stroke for that ball. Then how come it is a leg bye?
Because the leg bye law allows him to take evasive action to avoid injury.
But he is trying to avoid the ball, saying, I mean, he's not going to play that.
No, he makes no attempt, but he's ducking underneath it to avoid injury. He doesn't duck far enough, it whacks into his shoulder and crosses the boundary.
Thanks, Peter.
So he's taken evasive action to avoid injury, albeit he didn't do it very successfully. but he is allowed to score runs because of that. Okay?
Trini has one
Thanks,
more.
Peter.
Trini has a question. Same when it hits the helmet and reaches the boundary.
Well, you mean if he was wearing a helmet?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a question. I think it's just a comment.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Okay, 37. A not very successful start to the over. Top left is a wide. Second delivery, top right is a leg by, and then we have a front foot, no ball, and then a back foot, no ball. So we've got one wide, two no balls. I reckon we've got 5 deliveries to come. All agreed?
Is that D?
I don't know. There they are. D, yes, 5. Correct. 38. A regular occurrence in our cricket. Bowler running in, wind blows, bail drops, and either umpire can call and signal dead ball. The important thing is to stop play and get the bail put back on. It may be much more apparent to one umpire than the other. Whichever one sees it, call and signal it. 39. Right, so number 1 has pitched outside leg stump before hitting the batsman in line. I sincerely hope you wouldn't give that out, LBW. And the second delivery has hit the batsman on the full, but it's hit him outside the line of the leg stump. So that too will be not out. So your correct answer is D, neither. And finally, number 40. 149 for 9, and we have 2 events. A wide followed by a stumping. And you take the events in the sequence in which they happen. So the first thing that happened was a wide. The score then became 150 for 9. The game is over. You don't need to worry about what happens after that. So the correct answer is A, 150 for 9. The stumping doesn't count because it's happened after the game has finished. Now, that's your 40. I wouldn't be rude enough to ask any of you how you got on, but I hope you found it helpful as a means of revising law. It's very easy for us to forget these things as time passes by, especially when you've had as long as some of you have had since you last umpired. As I say, I hope you found that helpful. If you have any outstanding queries on it, then I'm happy to listen to them. Thanks to Peter Searson, who's looked after all the technology for this. I'm extremely grateful to you, and thanks to Tony Wall for the idea of the quiz in the first place.
All right, leave.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, Peter.
That's great, Peter. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks.
You're very welcome. Well, it's the same thinking, and it's got to be better than Coronation Street.
Yeah.
Thanks
very
Peter.
much.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks for that, everyone. Cheers.
You're very welcome.
Well done, Peter.
See you on the next one, we hope.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thanks very much.